I filmed my wife walk down the aisle. But the groom wasn't me. It happened in a hotel ballroom I'd booked for her baby shower. Guests thought they were there for pastel cupcakes and diaper games. I knew better. I had a camera in my pocket, the projector remote in my hand, and a sick, electrocom in my chest. I had spent 3 weeks collecting proof, screenshots, hotel invoices, doorbell clips, and her calendar invites under a fake name. The plan was simple: smile, pass the punch, and wait for the moment her double life walked itself into the light. Before I take you back to how all this started, I need to say this: subscribe and tell me in the comments what you would do if you were in my shoes. Because I'm still not sure if my move was justice or cruelty dressed as honesty. My name is Evan. I'm 31, a project manager at a mid-sized marketing firm in Chicago. My wife, Lena, is 29, a dance choreographer who teaches bridal parties their first dance. It's poetic and ironic, and maybe those two words are the same thing. 3 years married. We were, I thought, good. Until the night her phone buzzed face up on the coffee table and a preview line said, "Same place as last time? White looks good on you." The day of the shower, I stood at the back of the ballroom. My boss was running late. Her co-workers were already here. My hands shook only once, when I imagined Lena in white again. Then the side doors opened, music swelled from next door, and I saw it with my own eyes. She stepped onto a flower-strewn aisle, headed toward a man in a navy suit I recognized all too well. We used to be a soft morning couple. Coffee with oat milk, her slippers shuffling, my laptop humming. She'd hum counts under her breath, 5, 6, 7, 8, while balancing on one foot to toast a bagel. Our apartment smelled like hairspray and lemon cleaner. We had a whiteboard on the fridge with tiny notes: pick up dry cleaning, call mom, date night Friday. It felt normal, boring in that steady way you feel lucky to have. The first off note was small. She started staying late at the studio. A bachelorette client needed more polish. A bride's father moved the rehearsal. "It's wedding season," she said, kissing my cheek as she hit the elevator button. Who would doubt a choreographer's workload in June? Then came the girls' weekend for her friend Margot's last fling before the ring. Her phone went dark for stretches. She came home Sunday night glittered and hoarse, a festival wristband tucked under her sleeve. I pulled her in, laughed about the confetti in her hair, and she laughed too, high, thin. But our Sunday night countdown, meal prep, trash run, calendar sync, started getting messy. Her toothbrush moved to the far side of the sink. Her heels lived by the door. Petty details, right? I told myself I was paranoid. The whiteboard stayed full of little hearts. A week later I got an Uber receipt emailed to me. Our accounts were linked. Pick up at 3:12 a.m. from an address in Oak Brook. She said, "Oh, the app is weird." Margot used my phone. I wanted to believe her. I chose to. Until the doorbell camera caught a dark sedan dropping her at 4:03 a.m. She stepped out in a white wrap dress, barefoot, carrying her heels like a secret. And the driver leaned over the console and said, "Clear as a bell, I'll see you Thursday, Val." Her legal name is Elena. Her family calls her Lena. No one calls her Val. When I asked, casual voice, soft smile, "Who's Val?" She said it was a character from a routine she was choreographing. I nodded, made us tea, and slid my phone behind the toaster to record the rest of the kitchen air. Nothing useful. Just the clink of ceramic and the hum of the fridge. I did something I'm not proud of. I slipped an AirTag into the lining of her dance tote. I told myself it was safety. The first ping hit the studio as expected. The second, 2 hours later, sat glowing in a hotel off the interstate in Oak Brook. The third ping at midnight. The fourth at 6 a.m. back home. A pattern formed, a rhythm she never taught me. I started collecting screenshots like I collect receipts for work. Calendar entries named rehearsal, our Apple Maps recent with a little red pin on the hotel. Then, the big one, a note on her phone called vows, short version. I confronted her with nothing, because I wanted everything. "You seem stressed," I said. She melted into me, heavy, relieved. "I think I might be pregnant," she whispered against my neck. The room moved. The timing hammered in my ribs. Joy, fear, confusion, hope, 4 walls, 1 house, me pacing in all of them at once. I bought tests. She took them. Faint lines. Then she said she'd schedule a blood test. We held hands on the couch. Our whiteboard sprouted a new note, prenatal vitamins. At 1 a.m., after she fell asleep, my iPad lit up with a text that wasn't meant for me. "Room 1212 again? White looks good on you, Valentina." And the sender's name made my stomach collapse into itself. It said, Daniel. Daniel is the head of creative at my firm. Charismatic, silver watch, white teeth grin, Monday pep talks that feel like TEDx open mic. I've had beers with him. He toasted our wedding anniversary last year at a team dinner after I showed a photo of Lena dipping me at our first dance. To partners who lift us, he said. Everyone laughed. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the iPad as the bubbles popped and flowed. Can't wait to see you walk. You're insane. You first. There were no full message threads, just previews. Lena's devices are synced like mine. I didn't have her passcode, but I had the crumbs. And crumbs will lead you home or to a wolf's den. The next morning, Daniel called me rockstar and handed me a new client deck. His cufflinks were tiny anchors. I felt unmoored. I copied my wife's calendar to a private spreadsheet at lunch, tracking every rehearsal, every private reception, every late-night Uber. Overkill? Maybe. But project management is just organized paranoia. That evening, Lena pressed my palm to her stomach and said, I'm late. She smelled like orange blossoms and hotel soap. I wanted to be a father. I wanted to run. Then I found a venue invoice on our shared email. She'd used her maiden name, Elena Petrova, to reserve Ballroom B for a private reception. The date? 3 weeks out. Same day as the baby shower her sister was planning. The event memo, white florals. Discreet entry. Was I wrong for what I did next? I called the hotel. I added AV equipment for a slideshow. And I asked them to put Ballroom A, right next door, on hold for a family celebration. I became a detective in sweatpants. The coffee table turned into an evidence board. I printed the doorbell still frame of the 4:03 a.m. drop-off, highlighted the driver's profile and the cuff of a navy suit peeking out. I cross-referenced dates with Daniel's off-site meetings. My stomach sank as they aligned like gears. Her studio group chat popped up on the iPad one night. Valentina, send the final counts? A dancer named Raina replied with a heart. Valentina. Not a character, an alias that moved and breathed and booked hotel ballrooms. I bought a second phone line and messaged the studio from a pretend bride account, asking for Lena's availability. The auto-reply included her wedding movement direction package and, stupidly, a sample video link. I opened it. There she was, my wife, in a white rehearsal dress, practicing an aisle walk with a faceless partner. For 2 seconds a mirror caught his face. The angle was bad, but I knew the jawline. Daniel. Who do you think is the real villain here, the liar or the coward who waits to strike? I rehearsed confrontation speeches in the shower. Each one ended with me breaking something. That's not me. So I kept collecting. I asked her sister if I could help with the baby shower. I offered to handle AV and a sweet surprise montage. Her sister loved the idea. At work, Daniel added me to a Friday happy hour calendar invite. Just the core team, he wrote. Lena texted me at lunch, don't forget to pick up pink napkins. Pink. As if the color could paint over everything. That night I found a draft email in Lena's outbox. To our closest friends, join us for an intimate reception. The BCC list included a name I didn't expect, my coworker, Marcus. Marcus and I used to share bad coffee and worse client jokes. I pulled him aside after a meeting. You going to anything Saturday? He did a little dance. Got a family thing. His eyes flicked to my chest pocket where the projector remote bulged. Weird reflex. I stared at myself in the bathroom mirror and practiced calm. Lena, I know. No, too vague. Daniel texted you room numbers. Too hostile. My reflection didn't help. It just looked tired. That night, Lena cried. She cried because she was scared about the blood test. She cried because she felt sick. I held her. My heart broke in quiet pieces, the way ice fractures when you drop it into whiskey. Whatever happens, we'll handle it, I said. I meant it. I also emailed HR an anonymous tip with dates, locations, and a single sentence, check creative director Daniel R's calendar against hotel charges. It felt both righteous and petty. Am I a monster for setting traps instead of opening my mouth? Was I wrong for what I did? Tell me. Because the line between justice and spectacle was getting blurry. Friday, I followed Daniel after happy hour. He went not to his condo, but to the hotel. I sat in my car and watched him hand the valet his keys. On the passenger seat of his coupe, a white garment bag. My throat closed. At home, Lena was already asleep. Or pretending. Her phone lay face down, silent. I sat in the dark and listened to her refrigerator hum a tune I'd never noticed. Somewhere beyond our walls, plans were moving without me. The blood test results were due Saturday morning. I arrived at the hotel early with a flash drive labeled Memories. Ballroom A was a pastel dream, balloons, faux peonies, a welcome baby banner curling in the AC. I tested the projector. The first slide was a photo of us laughing at a food truck the summer we met. Then I hid the real file, the one marked 1212 behind it. I peeked through the divider at Ballroom B. White florals. A short aisle. 20 chairs split in two. A pedestal with a book that might have been for vows. A catering manager adjusted place cards. Private reception, she said when I asked, just a quick one. Guests trickled in, her studio friends, her sister with a diaper cake that made me want to scream, two of my coworkers who hugged me with sympathy I didn't deserve. Marcus slipped me a wink, then looked away like the wink had betrayed him. My boss texted, running late. Save me a cupcake. Lena walked in like a miracle in a cream jumpsuit, hair soft and bare, a hand settling unconsciously on her stomach. She hugged me too long. I love you, she whispered. I believed she believed it. I checked the hotel app. Ballroom B's schedule ticked closer to private reception. I set my phone to record audio and placed it by the punch bowl. When the doctor's office number flashed on my screen, I stepped into the hallway. The nurse's voice was gentle. Hi, Evan? We tried Elena but didn't reach her. Her HCG levels are not elevated. She isn't pregnant. We can discuss next steps if you'd like. I thanked her, hung up, and leaned my forehead against the cool wallpaper. Then someone tapped my shoulder. A bellman handed me a cream envelope with my name and Lena's handwriting. Open after, it said. I didn't wait. Inside was a single card, whatever happens today, remember I chose you. No signature. No explanation. The kind of line that could mean 1,000 things, none of them simple. I slipped the card back in, smoothed my face, and clapped when her sister asked everyone to gather for the montage. My thumb found the remote. The first minutes were safe, Lena teaching kids to plie, us at Navy Pier, our goofy Christmas sweaters. People awed. Then, the cut. Doorbell footage at 4:03 a.m. guests murmured. I let it play 5 seconds, enough for the white dress to register, then clicked again. A map with a bouncing pin on the hotel, timestamps like bullet holes. A text preview, room 1212. Another, white looks good on you, Valentina. The room stilled, sound sucked flat. Marcus swore softly. Her sister's hand flew to her mouth. Lena did not move. Her eyes were on me, unblinking, as if she had rehearsed how not to cry. Who do you think is the real villain here? I said to the room. The liar or the man filming? My voice sounded steadier than I felt. A manager cracked the divider door just then. Music drifted in, a piano instrumental. I caught a glimpse of navy suits and white flowers. My phone buzzed on the table, relentless. Daniel, we're set. Bring her when you're ready. Then, Marcus says room's perfect. Some guests started standing. Others sat deeper, as if their chairs could swallow them. Lena finally spoke. Evan, she said, so softly I almost missed it, please don't make this cruel. I clicked to the last slide, my calendar overlay, her calendar overlay, Daniel's public check-ins. Proof in rows and columns. And then I heard applause from the other side of the partition. Lena moved first. She walked straight through the cracked divider as if the opening had been choreographed. People followed, an accidental procession. I went last, the remote dead weight in my palm. Ballroom B looked like an ad for simple elegance. Daniel stood at the top of the short aisle with a minister as a friend and the kind of grin that lands promotions. He froze when he saw me, then flicked his eyes to Lena and recalibrated mid-breath. Right on time, he said, charm like oil. What is this? I asked, though I already knew. An intimate reception, he said. Vows. A celebration. Of what? I said. My voice sounded like it came from my shoes. Of our partnership, he said, fake spiritual. The heart knows. Stop, I said. My thumb hovered over my phone. At exactly noon, an email would send to HR, to our leadership team, to a handful of client-side carefully not included. It was scheduled, signed, and backed by attachments that didn't care about charm. Lena stood between us, hands shaking. Evan, she said, hear me. Behind Daniel, Marcus shifted from foot to foot like a metronome losing time. A caterer coughed. Somewhere a champagne cork popped the way bones do in bad dreams. I felt a strange empathy for the minister. He was holding a book with blank pages. Before you speak, I said to Daniel, check your phone. He did. His face strained. Then his watch buzzed. Then it buzzed again. HR's "we need to talk" subject line is a universal language. And then the minister looked at me and said, "To no one and everyone, should I continue?" The room split into two plays. On one side, Daniel's life fell off a cliff, phone calls, muffled swearing, Marcus trying to hurt him toward the exit. On the other, Lena reached for me like a person in a flood. "I thought you were pregnant," I said. No anger, just the tired truth. She closed her eyes. "I'm not," she said. "I wanted to be." I told myself if I said it out loud, maybe it would become true, and everything else would stop. "What is this?" I repeated, pointing to the aisle. "It's not legal," she said quickly. "It's a promise ceremony. Clients do it. PR. Photos. With my boss," I said. Her chin lifted in a move I recognized from 100 rehearsals. "He promised to fund my studio. He said we'd help each other. I never planned to leave you." There it was, the cruelty of both. Security arrived, HR followed like storm clouds. Daniel resisted, then wilted. Cameras, phones, not news, caught fragments. I didn't record. I couldn't stand to see myself in that frame. Was I wrong for pressing send? Or would you have done the same? In the silence after they let Daniel out, I looked at the minister. "You can go," I said gently. He nodded and slipped away, relief plain on his face. Lena's sister started sobbing. A dancer whispered, "She's Valentina," like she'd found the villain in Qley. I turned to the guests. "I'm sorry you had to see this," I said. "I won't make you see more." Then a hotel manager approached with a second clipboard and a question that detonated whatever calm I had left. "Are you Evan Harper? The groom in Ballroom C is asking for you." Ballroom C was smaller, lit like a church basement, a different universe 2 hallways away. A man about my age stood by a table of small sandwiches, a marriage certificate peeking from a folder. He had the look of someone who'd lost weight in a month without trying. "Evan?" he said. "I'm Roman." He paused. "Her husband." I sat hard. He slid the certificate toward me. "City of Las Vegas, 2 years ago, a ceremony performed by an Elvis who probably had strong calves. The bride's name, Elena Petrova. Groom, Roman V. Witness, none. I found you through the hotel hold list," he said. She used her maiden name again. I thought I was crazy. Then I thought, maybe I'm not the only one. Was I wrong for feeling relief ripple through the shock? The arrow had more targets than me. Roman told me his story. They met before me, split, then, apparently, she never split. He thought the distance was immigration paperwork. He thought the silence was stress. He thought. "Who do you think is the real villain?" I asked him. He laughed once, a dry bark. "Depends on the day." I showed him my slides. He showed me texts I hadn't seen. "You're my real home," she had told him. "You're my real gravity," she had told me. 2 truths, 2 lies, 1 woman in the middle choreographing it all. We walked back toward Ballroom together, 2 ghosts in suits. In the corridor, Lena appeared, hair coming loose, face stripped of performance. "Roman," she said. Not a question. And then she said to both of us, "I need 5 minutes to tell you the truth." We stood in a service hallway that smelled like lemon cleaner and steel. She didn't try to touch us. She folded her hands like a student who knew detention was coming. "I never meant for this to happen," she said. I almost laughed. She started with her family. Immigrants. Money that disappeared as fast as it arrived. A father who left. A mother who cleaned houses until her hands gave out. "I learned to perform," she said. "On stage, yes. But also everywhere." She married Roman fast in a summer that felt like a movie. It fell apart. It didn't. She moved to Chicago, met me, rebuilt herself. She told herself the first marriage had been a dream. Paper that would blow away if she didn't look. Then the studio's landlord raised the rent. Daniel dangled a patron deal. "It was never about love," she said, and my heart broke anyway. It was about survival. And then it got messy. "Because you're kind. And Roman is steady. And Daniel is. A door that opens when you push." "So you pushed," I said. She nodded. And I kept pushing until the doors were a maze. "Were you pregnant?" Roman asked, so softly the question almost didn't exist. "No," she said. "I wanted to be. With Evan. I thought if I made a home in my body, my life would choose a direction. I wanted to hate her cleanly. Instead I felt tired love and raw anger braid together in a rope I didn't know how to hold. Was I wrong for making it public?" I asked her. She blinked. "You were honest," she said. "And cruel. Then HR turned the corner with security. "Miss Petrova?" the woman asked. "We have some questions." The next week was a courtroom without a judge. HR suspended Daniel pending investigation. Clients called me privately to say they respected my integrity, which is corporate for "thank you for not involving us more." Marcus apologized, hands shaking, said he thought he was helping a love story. I told him to stop auditioning for supporting roles in other people's tragedies. Lena's studio posted a confused statement about art and boundaries. Dancers whispered and chose sides like they were picking prom tables. A venue collective quietly blacklisted her. The wedding subreddit found pieces of my story and spun them into new threads. My inbox filled with strangers' pain. "This happened to me. You're strong. You're a jerk. You saved yourself." Roman and I met twice. We drank bitter coffee and divided paperwork. He wanted an annulment. I wanted a divorce that said my marriage existed, then burned. We agreed to coordinate. Was I wrong for sending clips to the landlords who inflated her rent? Maybe. But when the community rallied, people offered a different studio space for any teacher who wasn't Lena. Consequences happen in clusters. Lena texted me once, "I'm starting over." I stared at the bubble until it faded. She didn't ask for money. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She didn't say sorry. Then came the subpoena. An investigator asked for my slides. I handed them over. The law doesn't care about choreography. It cares about paper. Roman's certificate sang louder than any monologue. On a Thursday that smelled like rain, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find a small box on the mat. Inside, the cream card from the shower and the ring I'd saved 3 months for. No note this time. That night I dreamed of a blank aisle and chairs turned toward the exit. The court date was quiet. No witnesses, just forms. Roman nodded to me in the hallway. Lena arrived alone, a blue dress that made her look like a bruise. We didn't speak. We were almost done speaking forever. I kept the couch. She took the plans. We sold the whiteboard for $5 to a college kid who thought planning was a cute idea. I deleted the slideshow files and kept the raw folder archived, not to punish but because memory is a strange, stubborn animal. Work offered me time off. I stayed. Routine was a raft. My team stopped walking on eggshells after a week. The world does not end when your heart breaks, it just keeps asking you for status updates. I started running by the lake at dawn. The air tasted like metal and mercy. I said hi to the same old man walking the same little dog. I bought fresh sheets. I threw out the lemon cleaner because it made me nauseous. A month later, an email landed from an unknown account. A clip of a rehearsal space, Lena counting out loud, dancers following. She looked thinner. She looked like herself. The caption said, "New start." No ask. No hook. Just that. Who do you think is the real villain? I've stopped trying to answer. Villains are easy in stories. In life, people are a pile of reasons and wounds and choices they don't know how to own. Still, when I pass the hotel on the interstate, my hands grip the wheel. In my head, I walk through the divider again, but this time the rooms are empty, and the minister is reading from a book that finally has words. Tomorrow, I'm moving to a different apartment. The lease starts Saturday. I went back to the ballroom weeks later, for a client event. The floral smell was gone. The carpet had been steam cleaned into forgetfulness. I stood where the aisle used to be and realized I didn't hate that spot. It wasn't cursed. It was just space. Roman sent me a photo from his new place, bare walls, sunlight, a cheap table with 2 mugs. To starting small, he wrote. I texted back a picture of my lake view at 6 a.m. to breathing early. I wrote. My therapist, yes, I finally went, asked what I would say to Lena if I had one last sentence. I said, I hope you stop performing when nobody asks you to. Then I surprised myself by meaning it. Was I wrong for what I did? Maybe. Maybe not. But I learned that secrets rot whatever room they're stored in, and sunlight doesn't care if you look messy in it. The community can be cruel or kind, but in the end, your choices are your gravity. I still choreograph my mornings, make bed, run, eggs, emails. I added something new to the whiteboard in my head, ask for honesty before you ask for love. It's not romantic. It's real. If you've been through something like this, I hope you hear me when I say, you're not crazy, and you're not alone. You're just stepping over confetti someone else threw at the wrong party. Sweep it up. Keep walking. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for the next drama.